Orange County Republican Congresswoman Young Kim. She posted a video on social media right after the speech.
They need support, and I'm hopeful that we can deliver more military weapons and equipment as they defend themselves. We need to provide them with more humanitarian assistance and provide more crippling economic sanctions to hit Putin where it hurts.
Joining us now live is Congresswoman Young Kim. Welcome back to the show. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Bring us inside that room. You were one of a few hundred people in there. What did it feel like to be in there? And was this a rare moment of actual bipartisanship on the Hill?
I must say it was a rare moment of bipartisanship. You're right, Alex. I want to say that the room was filled with emotion to listen to the emotional plea from President Zelenskyy. So I want to start out by saying that my heart is with the people of Ukraine as they defend their freedoms and their livelihoods against Vladimir Putin's regime. I first want to say that not just members of Congress, but our nation and the world are inspired by President Zelenskyy's leadership and bravery. He's a hero, and we are rallying with him and his people. He's certainly not giving up, and neither should we. His message to us, to the members of Congress, was very clear this morning. Ukraine needs help, and they need help now. So I want to work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle and do all we can, or whatever we can, to economically punish Putin and Russian Federation and hit Putin where it hurts for his unprovoked invasion and war crimes committed. We should send more military equipment and humanitarian aid to Ukraine as they defend themselves, and I absolutely support more sanctions.
Okay, yeah, and he himself today said at the very least, I'm speaking about Zelenskyy in that 15-minute address, he said at the very least we need more economic sanctions every single week until this Russian machine stops. With that said, your reaction, though, to President Biden's response with that $800 million more in military aid. This is in addition to several hundred million that's already been sent to Ukraine. And this is in the form of javelins and stingers and what's called those killer drones. Is this enough?
Well, as you know, Congress last week passed an aid package to Ukraine, including humanitarian aid, as well as lethal support, such as weapons and equipment to assist them as they defend themselves. And in that $800 million new security assistance, I believe the drones and other equipments in new aid package should be helpful in Ukraine to defend them, to defend their skies.
We know Zelenskyy, though, wants more. He wants a no-fly zone, something that President Biden said would start World War III.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should there be a no-fly zone?
You know, I do fear the impacts of a no-fly zone. We want to stop Kremlin forces, but enforcing a military no-fly zone puts us in direct confrontation and contact with them. We don't want U.S. troops on the ground, and we don't want World War III. However, I do support our country facilitating the delivery of MiG fighter jets to Ukraine so they have the ability to enforce their own no-fly zone. And I'm really hopeful that we can continue to take strong and bipartisan action to support Ukraine and stop Vladimir Putin.
So, I mean, would that be through Poland? Because there was a potential plan where essentially we would, they would give jets and then we would backfill jets. That didn't end up happening. How do we get the jets to the Ukrainian people?
Well, we got to use these the support. I mean, ground support. That's what the Ukraine aid package is supposed to do, to provide the personnel, the equipment, to move these goods that they're asking for, the resources through Poland. I was talking to my colleagues who just came back from their trip to Poland. They need non-military support as well. So we are looking at ways to provide the humanitarian airlift operation to bring in those support, and they are always running out of food and water and other types of supplies that they need. So we really want to thank Poland taking the giant step, taking a major step to provide the support for the Ukrainians that are fleeing this travesty that we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it is a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions, with more than 3 million of those Ukrainians now seeking refuge elsewhere, most of them, more than half anyway, going to Poland. Congresswoman Young Kim out of Orange County, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you very much for having me.